friends.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Spiced Chaos.
Today on the show, we are so honored to be joined by special guest host Tasia Royer, who is the boss babe creator of the shop Sweet Kawaii Design. And I am especially excited today that she has joined us because this was one of the first shops that I ever found when I was first starting my adventures in small sticker shop land. And I know that, Caitlin, you haven't gone down that rabbit hole really, have you?
Only a little bit back in the way back when I was using a recollections planner, but
Okay.
I like things to match. I love the Happy Planner stickers in the Happy Planner.
Okay, so I understand that. Well, I like to have all the things, and when I first started planning, I went down that, long road of looking at Etsy shops and looking at small sticker shops, and this was one of the first shops that I ever found. And I now consider Tasia to be a friend, and I'm super excited that she has joined us on the show, and she is right over there. So, hi, Tasia.
Hey, girl.
Hey, guys.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Tasia. We are so honored to have you here.
Oh my gosh, no, thank you so much. I'm so excited. This is my first podcast.
Yeah,
Really?
we're super excited.
Yeah, I just listened to them. I don't get out much. So.
Well, that's okay, because Caitlin doesn't get out much either. So
I sure do not. I like to be right at my home in my jammies with all my things.
In fact, did you know that Caitlin works from home?
Yeah, did you know that I work from home?
No. That's the best life.
Right? It's kind of a running joke around here.
Yes, it is. In fact, when we actually finally get around to making Spice Chaos merch,
Yep.
we're going to have a t-shirt that says Caitlin works from home.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm going to wear it to all of my work meetings. It's going to be the best.
You mean your online work meetings?
Well, we do have to meet in person like once every other month. And I mean, I should say we get to meet in person because it's funny when we are all together because we're like these weird people who have not had social interaction. And so we just like talk the entire time.
How do y'all get anything done in a meeting?
We don't. We are the worst students. Like I can see our like principals and executive director up there and they're like, can you guys just be quiet? We'll get to leave earlier. Like settle down.
Well, I love it when you have those meetings because you always call me on your way home when you're stuck in traffic and then we get to have a date.
Oh my gosh, Portland traffic, as Tasia knows, because we're both Pacific Northwest people, is the worst right now.
It has gotten really bad.
So bad.
Oh, well, it's not much better down here, let me tell you. So are we going to have like a traffic segment? We should do that. That would be fun.
Traffic.
Traffic with Spice Chaos. So
Right.
we have the weather. We have what
geography.
Else? We have accounting, geography. We have all kinds of really fun segments.
So
Guinea
don't say
pig
we
corner.
didn't teach you something. We are teachers. Don't say we didn't teach you something.
No, this is the most educational podcast on iTunes for sure. And the most professional and polished and formal podcast as well.
Right. Get your tea, put your pinkies out, and join us.
That's right, because the last episode of our podcast, not minisode, but the last full episode, I
Gabe.
just decided to, yes, with Gabe. We had Plan with Gabe on our last episode. And do you know him, Tasia?
I know him through Instagram. I love his account. I've been following him for, I feel like forever. I really like Gabe. He's really sweet.
Yes, he's awesome. And he was so funny on the show. And we had like screaming children in the background. And my kids just came in the room and talked to me. And I just left it all in. I was just like, sometimes I'll edit that stuff out. And this time I was just like, let's just let the people hear the way things
you
just
could
really
hear
are.
My kids screaming. And when I heard that back after Leanne edited it, I was like, oh no.
But what we had to say, like the stuff that we talked about after it, I felt like was really good stuff.
Totally,
and I wanted to keep it in. So,
Hashtag keep it real.
Keep it real. So, all right. So Tasia, how was your week? Have you had a good week?
I have, yeah. I feel like it was a complete blur. I can't believe it's Friday already, but we're just chugging along.
Did you do anything fun or was it just work?
Or Thanksgiving prep?
Yeah. Thanksgiving prep, I feel like I go long bouts of working from home and I only have my dogs at home. And when I do too many consecutive days, I start to feel really emotional. Like it just
Yeah.
like I need interaction of some sort. So we've learned not to let me go that far. So we just go out and maybe like go out to dinner or go shopping or just let me see people for a second.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because my dogs don't talk back. So
Right. I
it's
totally get
really
it.
quiet.
Right. Well, but I'm sure that you talk to them.
Oh, of course, all the time. I grumble to them all day.
Oh.
Well, you guys do have so you guys do have offices though that you can go to.
Yes.
We do. Hmm.
Mine is in the basement, so I have to leave my office every once in a while. Otherwise, I'm like
Oh,
in a
man.
dungeon.
How far away do you live from where your office is?
I'm about maybe like a 10 to 15-minute drive from the office. So Zach works from the office, my husband, and then we have a part-time employee who helps out a few days a week. So they're there all the time. And then I can concentrate better when people aren't around, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to have people around. So it's a double-edged sword. Um, I'm more productive at home.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. And see, what I do, I am more productive at my teaching job when I am at school. So if I need to like grade papers or something, I have to stay in my classroom.
Mhm.
And I always make this excuse like, oh no, I'm going to go home and put on my jammy jams and like grade papers in bed. And then when I do that, like nothing gets done. But if I stay at
No.
my desk at work, then I can get stuff done. But it just environment plays a huge role in like how productive you can be. So I can understand, if you know that when you can be in your home, if you can get in that zone, like
Hmm.
that working zone. So where do you design your drawings? Like, do you like your stickers? Do you design them in the office or at home?
That I do from home because it's such a quiet thing. I get distracted really easily. So I'll just run a TV show that doesn't require much concentration or maybe some music, and I'll just sit and draw for days on end. And then that's when I start to get a little crazy. So,
Oh,
but, and then I'll go into the office because the office is all production, it's all packing. It's like a lot of movement going around. And so, it's just I get distracted and I want to go help or pack, so I just stay at home
oh.
and draw.
Okay, so that makes sense to me. Now I'm kind of starting to picture your routine.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
right. Well, okay, not to get off topic, Caitlin, have you had a good week? Has it been a good week?
Oh my gosh, I also feel like it's just been kind of a blur. Like we have a turkey in our freezer. My mom had surgery this week, and my big kid is out of school today, and work has just been really busy. So, yeah, I feel like it's just been a blur. So I don't know if I would call it a good week, but I've definitely gotten a lot done this week.
Okay. Well, for me, normally when we get to this point, I every time we record the show, I always say, "Oh, this week has gone so fast. I haven't had time to really think about the show this week," or we made the notes and then I just set the notes to the side and didn't have time to get nervous or whatever.
Hmm.
But this week has been a slow one. And that doesn't happen very often where you have one that like drags, when you get a week that's just dragging.
Hmm.
And I I think maybe it was because Tasia, this is not like to be offensive, but I wasn't nervous to talk to you. I was excited.
Oh, that makes
Aw.
me happy.
Yes, I spent the week like thrilled that you were coming
Aw.
on the show. And while I was excited for Gabe and Stephanie and for Heather and for Renee and for all of our guests, for Julie, for everybody that's been on the show so far, we've had fantastic guest hosts. It's been great. We've had a great run so far. This has been the best experience of my life.
Hmm.
But it's
Same.
just this, I love you so much. And I have just been so excited all week to get to Friday. And every day that I woke up and it wasn't Friday, I have just felt like this week is dragging me along. And then I'm going out of town this weekend. And this is the first time that I have had to prep a YouTube channel for being out of town.
Oh, yeah, that's a big job.
Because I have never really thrown myself into my YouTube channel the way that I am right now. And yeah, hashtag shameless plug. If you're not following SpicedPlans or you're not subscribed to SpicedPlans on YouTube, then please go do that. But I finally hit my 1K. So I finally made it to 1,000 subscribers.
Congratulations.
And thank you. I'm very proud of myself because I'm working very hard. And it's so much fun to have a YouTube channel. And I used to be so afraid of YouTube, but I'm really enjoying it now. And I needed to sit down with my planner and figure out, here is when this is normally released, and here's when this is normally released, and here's when I usually make this. And, I needed to make sure that, everything was the way I wanted it to be so that I could go out of town and relax. My mom and I are going to my grandmother's house this weekend, and the listeners know that my grandmother passed away in August. So my mom and I are going, just the two of us, to her house, and we're just going to kind of have some drinks and reminisce, and just the two of us have a nice like girls weekend. And I want to be able to not think about social media for a couple days.
Yeah, totally fair.
Yes. But to do that, I needed to prepare. So I have been working long hours all week long to make sure that I could do that. And it's made the week feel really long. And, and I'm not complaining. I love this job. Like, I love what I do. It's just, working my job during the day and then in the evenings coming home and making sure that everything was ready to just take the weekend off. So if I'm not around on Instagram this weekend, you guys, then that's why. I'm not going to like Instagram my weekend with my mom. There's not going to be like stories of me and my mom, like hanging out at my grandmother's house. Like, that's not going to be.
Well, I think sometimes people don't realize like what a big job it is actually to be a content creator or a social media influencer or whatever you want to call it. But really, like, we're not just filming a video and slapping it up on YouTube. We're not just like taking a picture and like tossing it on Instagram. Like, there's a lot of like back end work that goes into it, and it's all great. It's super fun. And again, I also love, the content creator space, but there's a lot of work, and I totally relate to prepping a channel for a vacation. I prepped a video for every day that I was gone for our vacation when we went to Hawaii for a month. And that was a huge job.
I have no idea how you did that. And Tasia does the same thing because you have a fantastic YouTube channel.
Yay.
I kind of fall off the deep end for a little while and then I'll come back. But like you guys were saying, the prep, for some reason, if I know I'm going on vacation or if I know that I have to create content for a period that I'm going to be down, I do like a way better job. I have content for every single day. And then like right now in real life, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything to post tomorrow. Like, I'm not prepared at all. It's terrible.
You may be right, because when I am going to be here, there are days that I think, oh, I haven't come up with anything. And then, knowing that I was going to be gone, everything was. And what's funny is in my planner, and here's a little bit of like a secret about my YouTube channel. In my planner, I show my after the pin every week. So when I sit down to do a new spread, before I do the new spread, I show the camera last week's spread after the pin. So I'm not, so I'm not in my planner, I can't film a spread way early. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go in and say, okay, I can't film a December spread because the prior week hasn't been planned. But what this forced me to do was sit down and plan my entire week with my pen early, like way early in the week, so that I could film that video and have the after the pen done. And that was actually super helpful. I had to sit down on Monday and plan out the entire week on my planner so that I would have an after the pen ready to make the video. And then when I go to look at my planner, the whole week is planned. And it makes me realize that if I would sit down every week and just plan the whole week, that I would be a lot more organized. Am I making any sense?
That's a great tip.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I've had a lot to do this week, and it's been kind of great because I had to do really mundane things. Like I had to go and have the key fob battery replaced, and like return library books and go to the doctor, and just like really mundane like things that I hate doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you really feel like a rock star when you get all that stuff done.
Totally. And very
Yep.
tired, I'm sure.
Yeah, yes, very tired. But when I'm walking to my car from getting my key fob battery replaced, and I'm like, look at me, like I'm getting all of this done.
Yes, so productive. Yes, you definitely feel like a rock star when you're like on your game. And then I don't know about you, but the opposite happens to me if I like have things left on my checklist. And I think I need to work on this. This is like my shame circle. But like I totally beat myself up if there's stuff left on my to-do list that I've written down that I don't get done. I'm like, oh, I have to write the same thing again tomorrow. Like, why? Why didn't you just get it done?
Oh, yeah. Does that happen to you, Tasia? Do you like keep a checklist of is that how you plan?
I just highlight the things that I haven't done. So that way I don't have to rewrite it, but I can just check them off. Like I'll know to do my highlights first the next day and then move on to my running to-do list.
Oh my gosh, I love that idea.
I love that idea too. The highlights, that's genius.
Wow.
Okay, 'cause it's really depressing to write the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Okay, and see, I just recently did a vlog video where I explained to the camera, I have written down, call this particular doctor every day for like 2 weeks. Because and there was a time in my planner where I needed to call my eye doctor for literally a month.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
No, I needed to make an appointment with my eye doctor, and I just never got around to making the phone call. I just couldn't get it done for some reason. And it's because my time in the car, I make phone calls that are pleasant to make. I don't want to make those unpleasant phone calls. Like I just get very anxious about them. And if I, was sitting down to write in my planner, oh, I forgot to call the eye doctor again today. And I would just write it in the next day, call the eye doctor. So there were weeks and weeks at a time where I was writing the same. That is such a good idea to just highlight it. Oh my gosh.
I love that so much.
I think my brain just kind of exploded a little bit. Tasia, thank you for that. That was great.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So now I'm going to have to keep my highlighters around a little bit more than I used to, because I never come up with a use for my highlighters anyway. I have them everywhere.
Same, right? And now I can get some mild liners. Yay!
Yes. Now you can go. Yeah. Now you have I see an Amazon purchase in your future.
It's coming. Who loves a planner haul?
Oh, yes.
Shameless plug. Creating in Chaos on YouTube. Go follow.
So the listeners may not know this. I mean, Caitlin only mentions it like every couple of minutes, but both of you live in Portland.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
So I think that is super cool and super weird that neither of you know each other.
I think it's because we're just like we were talking about before the show, like we're both, it sounds like, really introverted, and we just really like to be home. So
right.
People in that boat don't typically meet a lot of people.
Right. Well, I know that you're introverted, and I totally get that. And I know that one day when Caitlin and I meet in person, I may be like, whoa, you're right. This is strange. But, Tasia, you have the kind of job where you both do at this point have the kind of jobs where you can be introverted. But Tasia, like you have to go to planner things, and I mean, isn't it hard to be like an introverted homebody and do what you do?
It totally is. I mean, leading up to an event or any type of outing, like say I was going to go meet Caitlin, like leading up to it, the anxiety level is so high, and the list of excuses as to why I don't need to do it or I can't do it will be 10 miles long.
Exactly.
But once I get there, I'm totally good. Like I never regret doing something that I really, really didn't want to do because it's all in my head.
I feel the same way. I'm absolutely like that. And like my husband is really like fly by the seat of his pants. He's not like a planner, like really at all. And so he'll be like, yeah, I want to go to the park right now. And I'm like, wait, what? We just changed like our entire day. Like what's happening? And so I have a really hard time with that. So we clash a little bit there, but I totally get that too. Like the anxiety starts like building. And sometimes when I'm in like the height of my anxiety, it kind of like, I don't know, I might come off as a little bit flaky, but really it's like, I just can't. I just can't.
totally get it. Mhm.
So, do you guys want to like talk about Portland? I mean, are you both natives?
I am a native. I was born at Good Samaritan Hospital in Northwest Portland.
I am not. I'm from Hilo, Hawaii. I was born and raised on the Big Island of Hawaii. I
Oh
just
my,
moved about
that's
6 or 7 years ago.
that's right. I knew that. I totally knew that. I'm sorry. I should
Hilo,
have.
Hilo is beautiful. That's where we spent the majority of our trip when we were in Hawaii on the Big Island, and it is
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's really nice. The pace and the people and the food, the culture,
Yeah,
like everything about it, I just miss. It's so different.
totally. And we actually traveled, so we were on the Big Island for 18 days, and then we were on Maui for a week. And the difference, even in like cost and like culture, was so different. And I
Huge.
totally preferred the Big Island to Maui.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Well, so I live on the east side in Portland. Did you say you live on the west side of the river?
I live on the east side too. I'm like right on the border of Damascus.
Oh,
Damascus,
cool.
right where Damascus leads into Gresham. It's called Pleasant Valley, I think it's called.
Totally.
I
Yep.
don't know.
Right where that is.
Okay, cool. Then yes, I live there. I spend
Nice.
most of my time in Happy Valley though.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I know right where that is too. My brother lives in Milwaukee.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm familiar with that area.
Yeah. So since moving here, do you have any like favorite joints or favorite places that you like to go?
I really like going to like the small quirky businesses, the restaurants, the shops, all of the locally owned. I really enjoy those. When I first moved, I didn't care what it was because everything was new to me. But now I've really honed in on smaller businesses.
Totally. I feel like that too. Are you into like the food cart culture that has overtaken?
I am, yeah. I lived in an apartment building that had food carts right outside of it, and it was really bad for my waistline, but so convenient.
Oh my gosh, they're so good. There are some that like I'm a little skeptical about, but then I'll try them and I'm like, where have you been all my life?
Right.
Like there's this one, oh, I can't even remember where it's at, but it's basically like the best chicken in Portland. That one is one of my favorites. I'll try to like share some of these on our Instagram stories. Do you have a favorite food cart that you like to go to?
There was one downtown that I had gone to, and I don't even remember what it was. We were waiting to go into a concert, and we were really hungry, and it was almost like a breakfast sandwich. I want to call it the brunch box or something like that, but I had the messiest, like, cheese sandwich thing. I don't even know what it was, but it was really delicious. But yeah, I would say that one.
That is awesome. Yeah, there's just so many good ones. Are you an outdoorsy person? Because I know that like in Portland, you can basically get to any like outdoor activity that you want very easily.
Right. The outdoors here scare me versus in Hawaii. In Hawaii, I'm like, I can't get lost. I won't get frozen. Like, nothing bad will happen to me. There's no animals. And here, I'm like, I could just vanish. Like, one wrong turn and I'm the
It's true.
doozy.
In Oregon, you have to be a little bit prepared. But I think, I don't know, I feel like there are some that you could do, like especially in the city. If you've ever been, since you live kind of in the east side, over on Powell Butte, there's some really nice hikes and it's a really nice protected area with like basically right in the middle of the city. There's neighborhoods right around it. So
Oh, that's my kind of hike.
exactly. Yeah, but it is actually a really good hike and you really feel like you're like in the wilderness. That's a good one. And then we actually live close to Rocky Butte on the east side, and that one like you can walk up and there's a castle at the top. That's a really good one too, with again neighborhoods
Ooh.
like right around it and a church. So you can like head to the church for safety if you wanted to.
Did you say a castle?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's a castle. I can't remember the exact history, but it looks like a castle. Like you walk up these old stone stairs and like it's big open space. I kind of feel like it was like like a lookout point in like the medieval times. I'd have to read the exact history. You guys
Ooh.
can Google Rocky Butte in Portland and you can find out the history. But Yeah, it's a big open space. You walk up all these stairs. The high school kids like to drive up there and make out sometimes. So
Ooh.
that's like the spot. But it's a really cool spot too. I know some of my friends have had like their weddings up there, but it's also a really nice hike.
Nice.
Okay. Well, that sounds like, listen, I'm an indoor girl.
I kind of am too, but my husband is really outdoorsy, and so he like kind of pulls me out of my shell a little bit. And so we do go on some adventures. And I will say that there are some really cool ones, even for folks who are a little bit indoorsy.
I mean, I do, you know what? I do sit next to a window while I podcast.
Oh, geez. Well, when you come to Portland, I'm
That's all
going to
you
take you on
need.
a hike. I'm going to take you on an easy hike, Leanne, when you come to Portland.
Well, I mean, a hike is basically a walk, right? I mean, it's just a walk.
Well, it depends. You can have it as hard or as easy as you want. Portland has basically mountains that you could walk up.
No, I don't want to go on a mountain climb. I just want to walk down the street. Like, I like a nice neighborhood with a paved sidewalk where, that's about the extent of my hiking. But I do like to sit by the window because I like to, Caitlin makes fun of me, Tasia, I like to watch the squirrels play outside of my window.
I hate the squirrels in Portland. They're everywhere, and they're invasive, and they're destructive, and I don't like them.
Oh my gosh, I love them. I didn't have squirrels in Hawaii. You have mongoose.
The lizards.
So
I love the lizards in Hawaii.
Here and I'm like, yes.
I love those little lizards. We would like leave our papaya shells out and like attract the lizards to like come up to us.
Oh man.
I'm sure it's like the same. You're like, no, go away.
No. See, I like to watch the squirrels. I don't want to be around them. Like, I don't want to be, I don't want to interact with them personally.
You want to be Snow White. You don't want them to like carry your dress as you walk the woods.
No, I don't need like woodland creatures to talk to me or anything. But I am not opposed to putting a woodland creature in my planner. Now, I will put
a critter in my planner.
Yes, critters can definitely go in my planner. And speaking of critters, that's a fantastic segue into Sweet Kawaii Design, I have to say.
Well done.
I mean, look at how I am such a professional podcaster, you guys. Oh my gosh. Yes. Wow. Because can I just say, now I spoke a little bit about this in the intro, but Tasia started a shop called Sweet Kawaii Design. And before we talk too much about that, I want to ask you, what did you do before you drew the world's cutest stickers?
Thank you, by the way. I worked in a dental office. I managed a dental office in Hawaii. And so when I moved here, I just kind of picked up where I left off in a new office. And it was weird. We fell on some hard times. And so I started making polymer clay charms, and I was making these really like extravagant phone cases out of these polymer clay charms. It looked like a decorated cake on the back of a phone case. They were really quite crazy. But
wow.
I just, for some reason, I don't know what transitioned me into stickers, but I just wanted to start drawing them instead of making them out of clay. So my first designs were actually my clay designs that I drew, and it kind of just flourished from there.
And were you always a planner?
I was, yeah. You know, it's funny because the dental office that I was working for here, we were going to be moving locations and they wanted my help. So I was like, that's great. I'll buy a planner. And so that was my first Erin Condren planner in like 2014. And they probably wish they never asked me to help them because after I was like, well, this planner needs more decorations. So it just like, it opened up a wormhole and I was like, bye guys, I'm going to make stickers for a living.
Wow.
Really, I think I caught him off guard.
Because you really, I mean, seriously, there are a lot of people out here in the planner streets that are trying to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are millions, well, maybe not millions, but there's, I'm being a little extra when I say that. There's billions of shops, you guys. There's billions of shops.
There's so many, though.
There's so many shops. And, you know, in my and Caitlin and I have talked, especially this week, with you coming on the show, we've talked about our own personal sticker journeys. And I am a completist at heart. When I started my planner journey, I wanted all of the things. I wanted to have all of the Happy Planner stickers. I wanted to figure out the Etsy world. I wanted to know all of it. I wanted to figure it all out. And, I wanted the cutest of the cute, and I wanted all of the teeny little stickers. And I was watching everybody's YouTube videos and figuring out how to, integrate the little teeny kawaii stickers in with the Happy Planner stuff and everything. And when I came across your shop, one of the things that I will say, just so that the listeners will know this, your turnaround time has got to be the best in the business.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And the reason why I think that I found you, in the first place is because so many of the smaller shops, and maybe it's because they're smaller than you are at this point. I don't know. I feel like that that you're definitely selling quite a few stickers, and you don't have to tell us like, well, here's how many we sold last week or whatever. But, I think that when I saw, and I bought from you from Etsy first before I went to your regular website, which we will tell the people here in a minute. It's just sweetkawaiidesign.com. It's not like a big complicated thing, but it was like, what, 2 to 3 days was your processing time?
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes. And that is what made me choose to try your shop, because there were so many other shops that it was like 2 to 3 weeks before it's going to ship. And I was like, no, I live in an Amazon Prime kind of world. Okay. I need for this to be at my house, 4 days before I order it.
I know. Am I the only one shocked by some of these like Etsy shipping times? I really am like the Amazon Prime now. I'm like, I need it right now.
Yes. Okay, I need for Amazon Prime to read my mind and know 4 days before I order something that I'm going to want it.
Right. And then put it inside my house. Like, don't even leave it on the doorstep. Just put it right.
Yes. Caitlin and I talked about that today, that people are ordering Amazon keys.
Yes.
So that Amazon can just pop into their house and just leave their packages inside.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of creepy.
But kind of convenient. Like, if you're gone all day, I could think it's really cool. But for me, because I don't ever leave my house, I
think it's awesome. I'm going to be like, just start bringing them straight to the craft room.
Oh my gosh.
You might make friends with like your UPS guy. He like pops in. You're like, do you want to stay for coffee? Like, do you want some cookies? Like,
yeah, like I don't want to have to go downstairs and get that package. Just bring it straight to the craft room. You know what? Why don't you just go ahead and open it up for me too? Dispose of the box and take it with you when you go. Thanks.
Right. And can you pour me a glass of wine on your way out? Like,
and you know what? Press record on the camera because I'm about to film a haul. Thank you.
We love our FedEx and UPS guys though.
Yeah, they get nice big gifts like at the holidays too. Like we tip them at the holidays because the holiday shopping is real here. It's serious. So yeah, I saw that your turnaround time was fast, and I was like, well, I'm going to order from this shop because she's going to have it to me like really quick. And then when they arrived and it was on that vinyl paper, which I had no idea that it was going to be on, and I could pick them up off the page. Like you can put the stickers on the page and then just take them off. I mean, Every time I put down a sticker, it's crooked. Every single time. If anybody has... If anybody has ever watched one of my YouTube videos, anybody who's out there that's ever seen even one knows that every time I put a sticker down, I have to pick it back up. So it's just, I rip the pages of my planner like on a weekly basis. But when you use a Sweet Kawaii Design sticker, you're not ripping your pages up because they just come off the page. They're just like, they're like butter. There's something about... there's just nobody else that I know of that's doing it the way that you are. Like the quality is just so high and they're affordable. It's not like you're charging $25 for 1 week's kit. You know what I mean? So there's nobody that's doing it like you are. And that's why I wanted for you to be on our show, because we don't push products here. That's not what we are. It's not like we're going to say, okay, this whole episode is a big advertisement for a shop. But I just feel like when there is something that I am passionate about, that I want for people to know it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing something that is different than other people are. So,
Gosh,
just talk.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, just, and I have to say, you guys, I did PR for her for 6 months. Now, the second 3 months, I was not as, as diligent or as good at it as I should have been. But, and Tasia is definitely a very grueling PR mistress. Okay. Like she.
Nice.
Okay. I mean, she stands behind you with a whip and just cracks it. Okay. I'm telling you. Yes. So just
selling so many stickers.
No,
you gotta
I'm
hide
just
out here.
no, I'm just kidding. But I'll tell you what. So I was in line. This is what happened, and this is just my little quick story. So I was in line at CVS drive-through because I'm not going to get out to pick up my prescriptions. I'm going to drive through the drive-through. And she sent me a DM on where do we have DMs? Yes, Instagram.
Instagram.
She sent me a DM on Instagram, and it was like, I think it was December of last year, and she asked me to be on the PR team, and I started crying.
Oh my
gosh. I started crying because it was one of my goals. Like that was on my list of goals in my journey was to PR for your shop. And the fact that you asked me was I was just so happy. And it was like a dream come true. And I have so many of your stickers, and I'm just so happy to have you here. That's why the week was so slow for me, because I was so excited that you were going to be on the show. But tell us about the shop. Like, it's got to be a dream come true for you to be this successful. I mean, to be able to do this for a living. I mean, Caitlin gets to work from home, and I'm super jealous of that. But, you got to just kind of say, well, I want to make stickers. And then you just got to leave the dental world and make stickers, I mean, when did you find this paper? Like, what do you draw everything by hand? You created all these creatures that are so cute. And I mean, it's got to be just, you're living the dream. I know that you work really hard, of course, but it's got to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a dream come true, and something that was completely unplanned. When I started Sweet Kawaii Design, I just thought it would be a side hobby and something fun. And of course, you would always dream that you could make it sustainable. But when I first started, that definitely wasn't my intent. And we started small. We were in a little apartment, and we busted out a silhouette. Like, I bought a silhouette at a time where I really didn't have money to be buying a silhouette machine. And I bought one, and it just took off. Like, we just had the perfect timing for opening the sticker shop. And it just evolved really quickly. I do all of my designing digitally. If you hand me a paper and a pen, it's going to look real rough. But when I'm in Illustrator, like digitally, I can make doodles. I still don't think I can actually draw. Like when I look at I don't know how to put it. I feel like I'm a doodler, like I'm a really good doodler. But I think that's where the charm comes in with the little guys, because they're simplistic, but they're just so cute.
Yes, they are.
They are really cute.
And so, yeah, you talk about turnaround times. I remember when we first started, our first Black Friday it was so hectic, and our turnaround time was not now what it is. It was like several weeks, almost a month, I think. And I just look at it always, I put myself in everyone else's shoes as a customer. If I was a customer, I would not be digging this wait time, or I would want a certain quality of sticker or that type of thing. So I really strive to just make something that I would want, give me the customer service that I would want, which I don't know. I just always put myself in everyone else's shoes, and it's worked out. We work 7 days a week though, so it comes at a cost, but we're starting to finally find some balance in our life, and it's working out. I really like it.
Well, and it's so cool that you have your husband who has also been what did he do before? If you don't mind me asking.
He was a pharmacist.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's awesome.
So he's like really happy not to be doing. He was in retail pharmacy and he just did not like it. If he was to go back to pharmacy, he definitely wouldn't go back to retail. It's just a beast of his own. I mean, you go and you get a doctorate and you think it's going to be this glorious thing, and then you go to retail and it's kind of just like you're a clerk, and people just don't understand the inner workings of pharmacy. And I could go on and on with all of his grumbles, but it's really nice. His personality jives really well with mine. He's really laid back and just kind of even keel, and I am the roller coaster one. So he kind of mellows us out.
That's awesome.
So I think it's so cool that your dream kind of became, I don't know what I'm trying to say, and I'll
Like a
edit some of
reality,
this.
like
Yes.
became your reality, and like it supports your family. Like I feel like when we all start our little side hustles, right? Like we're all like, oh, well, it'd be cool if, or like I would love to have this as my job full time. But I feel like for the majority of us, we continue to call it our side hustle, even when it is like somewhat successful. So it's really cool, and it's actually super inspiring because I know that both Leanne and I want our channels to grow. We want the podcast to grow, and we have like these goals as well. So it's really inspiring to meet someone who really has made their dreams like a reality.
Consistency and coming from a place of just pure passion. When I first started, I wasn't in it to grow it into this big thing. It grew because I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that translates. I think people can tell when you actually love something or you're just in it to be in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, it shows in your work for sure. Everything that you produce, it shows that you are loving what you're doing. And I think that it is equally as cool that your husband gets to work side by side with you and that your dream became his job too. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, I think that it would be so, and, Caitlin, you tell me how you would feel about this for you and
Mm-hmm.
Brian.
Totally.
But, if Andy and myself, ever got to the point where what I'm doing could also become part of his job too, I feel like that he would love that too, like if he could
Mm-hmm.
become like our podcast producer or, you know what I mean? Like if we became, a family kind of situation too, I think that is just it's an interesting dynamic. And
Totally.
so I don't know, Caitlin, do you feel like that Brian would be cool with that on
I
your
think
end of
I think
things?
he would, but I think he would rather be like a small percentage into like what I'm doing and like a large percentage into I'll take the kids to the park while you walk while you work. That's like
Okay.
my husband is so sweet, and he is like the best dad, and he loves to take the kids outdoors and he plays with them, and at family gatherings he doesn't really want to sit and like talk with the adults. He would rather like be outside playing with the kids and wrestling. So that would be really cool because then that would take that chunk off my plate so that I could do this. So
Hmm.
that would be awesome. And that's kind of the setup that we have right now because I do work from home and I'm super busy. So he's home a lot more. And he really has picked up a lot of the slack with like taking the kids to school and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we are. And I'm not saying that, that's necessarily the role that not that he wouldn't want that, but
Mm-hmm.
that is when I started this. And, Tasia, whether you want to call yourself this or not, you are an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't want to call myself that at all.
well, but you do have, you have all of the credentials of an influencer or content creator at this point as well, because your shop has a tremendous amount of followers and your YouTube channel has a lot of subscribers. And you know what I mean? Like you have all of the things that an influencer has. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have met some of the goals that an influencer is trying to meet. Not saying that that's what you want, but that is kind of what you have achieved. And that's just part of it. That just
Mm-hmm.
came along with the
Hmm.
success. And when I started this journey, this job, this thing, my husband was very supportive and said, I know you, and I know that if it's something that you want, that you will go and you will do what it takes to get there if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got the home stuff. So you just go. And it's kind of like you and Brian, where
Mm-hmm.
now Andy is not like running around in the streets with the kids and like taking them to
Oh,
the
Brian
bike
really
rides
is. Yeah.
like he's not taking them to the castles and stuff like that, but he he is definitely, cool with me saying, okay, so I've got to get caught up on the weekend this week. So, you hang out with the kids during the evenings this week. But I don't know. I think that if I were to say, I need for you to start reading all of our emails so that you can weed out, the shorter ones, or the ones that we, find us the funniest ones. You know what I mean? Like if I needed
Mm-hmm.
for him to do a job for the podcast, I think that he would do it.
Totally. Yeah.
In a small capacity. Like if we needed some help, I think that he would do it. But I just think it's very cool that you get to work with Zach every day, and that he, packages things and, gets everything. He prints, and everything is like, your quality control is like, so now I know that you do occasionally have an oops bag,
Right.
but how
Ooh.
can you even know? Like, how do you, with the volume that you print, how can you check and know that there's an oops bag? Like, what is the procedure there?
That is all Zach. Like I accredit him for giving us the awesome ship times for the quality control. I think it's his pharmacy background because you had to be very particular with, making sure you're giving out the right prescription. So
Right.
he actually double checks all of the orders. Like I'll pull them if I'm in the office, or Shawnee will pull them, but he's the final hand that it's going through the double check everything, make sure the cut lines are okay, to get all the freebies in the bag. And I have been fired from that job by him because I will let things go through. Like you can tell when I've been working the line, because emails will come through and be like, hey, I'm missing a sheet, or there's this. I'm like, oh man, like Zach, take your job back. Like I can't do this. I just need to draw. So it's all him. Like I would love to say it's all me, but he does so much for the business, and I really wouldn't be able to do it without him, for sure.
That's
Well,
awesome.
there's no way that you could do it all by yourself.
No
Oh
way. Yeah.
no.
No,
Mm-mm.
not and still be in that 2 to 3 day window. I don't know how you guys do the 2 to 3 day window with just
Right.
with what, having that part-time employee that comes in just a couple times a week. I don't
Right.
know how in the world you make that work.
We've gotten it down to a fine science with our machines, and we've gone slightly automated with them. So we've definitely been able to invest back into the business, and that's why we're able to print on the vinyl and all these different things. So it's helped. It's been a work in progress for sure. Because like I said in the beginning, we were going as fast as we could, but it was still not as fast as I wanted it to be.
Well,
Yeah.
there is something about that vinyl. You guys, listeners, when you receive an order from them, the vinyl smells so good, okay? Like I feel like I've got some kind of like, I've got like a problem. Like when it comes in the mail, and when I open up the package, I don't even get out of the car. Like the envelope comes
Oh.
and I open it up in the garage in the car, and it smells so, oh, it's just, I've got like, just sniff it. Um, but I mean, I'm the same way with like almost all of my stickers. Like when I get anything from Erin Condren,
Oh
I
my
smell it. When I just have like, I have a real problem here.
You have a
Um,
circle.
yeah, I have a real addiction. Like, who was it? Who was it in the minisode that needs a rehab? Veronica. Veronica needs like a rehab. We all need a rehab.
Oh
Well,
my
tell us
gosh.
about. This is like the busiest time of year for you, and I know that it was a very good time for us to have you on the show. What is coming up for Black Friday? Can you give us some sneak
Oh,
peeks for Black Friday? Is anything exciting coming
yeah.
to the shop?
Black Friday is really exciting for me because it's the one time of year that we go all out, and it's our largest discount. So normally we'll do maybe like 20% throughout the year or something like that. But on Black Friday, our doorbuster, we go up to 40% off
Wow.
for the first 2 hours. Yeah, it's like a tiered system, so you can get up to 40% off during the first 2 hours. But then throughout the rest of the day, you still can get up to 30%. But I am a sucker for freebies. I absolutely love including freebies in orders. So we're going to have like Post-its. I customized these really cute Post-its with our new critter, Frank. He's a Yeti. And so he's going to be
amazing.
on there.
I love him. Oh my
and his
gosh,
little
he's
teeth.
so
I don't know
cute.
what it is about his fangs. I'm
So
like, I
cute.
need the.
Yes.
So yeah,
he's precious.
all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, Post-its and then other freebies. We do Lucky Pickles, which I wasn't familiar with the Lucky Pickle story or the Christmas pickle.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
guys know the Christmas
Yes.
pickle?
Yes.
Okay, tell me that
we do
story.
Christmas pickles.
So
I
the
don't know if
Christmas
I'm
pickle,
gonna tell it right.
you put it on your Christmas tree, and whoever finds it, I think, gets a prize. We just actually have a Christmas pickle ornament, and we just pop it on the tree because it's cute. So we don't necessarily do the thing, but there is a story that goes with it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I've never heard of that before until I was like fingers crossed last year at Black Friday that I would get a pickle in my package.
Oh,
a pickle in my
a pickle in your
pickle
package.
in my package.
Oh, okay. I see you, girl. I see you.
Yeah, I know. Like, okay, so how big is this pickle?
Is it delicious?
Oh, we're going after dark.
I know we are. We're taking it to a weird turn.
On a Monday morning, we're taking it after dark. Okay, it's not even a mini-sode, and we're going after dark.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Well, I did not get the pickle last time, but that's okay. I'm gonna order again this year anyway. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for Black Friday, and it's scary for me because I don't know what time is the 2-hour window because I very much like Caitlin can't figure out that Pacific Standard Time. I don't know.
Hater. You are such a hater. I cannot believe that.
Well, I can't figure it out
It's
when
hard.
it's time. Like when your shop opens, I can't figure out like what time it is here. And I think I missed it last year because I didn't realize that I don't know what happened. But anyway, I have to get some of those Yetis. And
yeah, the Yetis are going to be all day long.
Okay, well, and I'm also planning to get that little nutcracker kit.
Ooh, yeah, that one is super cute. I actually looked at that one. I've never been a customer yet, but I am leaning towards buying some of your stickers after Leanne's prompting and hearing about this Black Friday sale.
Well, yeah,
because
because Caitlin has never gone down that road. The small shop. She's got Happy Planner stickers.
Yeah, abundant amounts of Happy Planner stickers.
Yes, she has an embarrassing amount of Happy Planner stickers. And she hasn't ever done like the Etsy world or the small shop world. But, once she started looking at your shop, she was like, okay, so I can kind of see why people like this. And,
it's a slippery slope.
It is. It really can get scary. I have binders and binders full of Tasia stickers. And she sells sticker binders too. So you can yes, there's all kinds of cute like sticker books and all kinds of stuff like that. And she's been in Michael's. Like you can get her like I don't know if is there any of the stuff still in Michael's?
Yeah, we still have our line at Michael's. It should be getting a refresh soon. I don't have any dates, but there definitely is a refresh coming.
That was so cool when I saw your stuff at Michael's because I've known who you are for a while, and when I saw your stuff and Chrissy Ann designed stuff at Michael's, it was like, wow, it's really like a real thing. Like our community is being recognized. It was so cool.
Yeah, it's really strange to go in and see everyone's things. It's kind of surreal. It was funny. I went when it first went out and I wanted to pick up a few things for my sisters. So I was waiting in line and the cash register lady was like, oh, these are really cute. And I was like, thanks, I made them. And she's like, okay.
Probably was like,
all right, woman. Yeah. It was really funny.
Well, I know. And that was like I think that may have been the first time that I ever put a selfie of like in my stories. When I was in Michael's and I saw your face in Michael's on that sign. and I looked so beat up because I had worked all day. But I finally found a Michaels that had put up the display correctly, because the first time I saw the display, they hadn't put up like the little board that had y'all's pictures on it. And then when I finally got to a Michaels that had your sweet face on it, I was like, look, Tasia, we're together at Michaels. And I had this awful selfie that I put in my stories.
No, it was nice. I loved it.
Oh my gosh. It was terrible. Oh, I had been working all day, and I don't think I had any makeup left on my face or whatever, but it was just, I was so excited to see you there. And the other two companies that had their stuff in there too, I had never used their stuff either. And their stuff is so cute too. That Wonton in a Million and the
Oh my
Shine sticker
gosh,
company.
yes.
Yes, they're so cute too. Like that whole display was just so amazing. And I bought a bunch of their stuff too, and I have, enjoyed putting their things in my planner. The paper is not the same in the Michaels stuff as what you get in the shop, but it's still the artwork is really cute. And yeah, I think that it needs to stay in Michaels all the time.
All the
for
time.
sure. Yes. So have you ever considered turning your own pets into characters in your shop? Like,
So Pixie does have her own stickers. It's like this kind of mixed sheet, and she looks kind of grumpy and sassy in most of them. And then Sush had her own sheet as well. I think we called it the Nunu mix though, because her nickname was Nunu. But I still haven't made one of Ellie yet. Ellie's still coming into her own. She's still a baby.
Okay, so how is that going? So right now you have two dogs right now.
I do, yeah. Pixie, who's a Chihuahua, and she's 12 years old. She's going to be 12. And then we have Ellie, who's a Maltese, and she's just over 6 months old. She's a monster.
Okay, yeah.
I do not remember.
No, puppyhood is hard, because we also have a puppy right now, but our puppy is not a Maltese. Our puppy is a lab, and she is pure liquid energy. And it is, now I'm not saying that the Maltese isn't, because I know that the little ones can be just as crazy, or if not more,
right,
than the big ones, but it's just, puppyhood is so hard. Does she still have those little teeth that are like razors? I mean, like those puppy teeth are just, they're like needles or something. Oh my gosh. And now when they first come home, when they're like 8 weeks old and 9 weeks old. And did you get her when she was that little, when she was that young?
We did, and it was really funny because we brought her home and we're like, oh, this is going to be great. She's so little. She's going to be so mellow. Because Pixie, it took her a while to come into her own. And even to bark, it took her quite a while to show her personality. But right out the gates, we put her on the ground. She just started barking. We're like, what the heck? This is not like, you're supposed to be calm.
How does Pixie feel about her? Do they get along?
They do. Pixie's the boss, so she throws her 4 pounds around really well. And tries to put Ellie in her place, even though Ellie's slightly larger than her now, but she still knows she's top dog.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, that's kind of our situation, because our older dog is a lab beagle mix, and she is little. And we didn't realize just how little she was until the lab, like the full-blooded lab, came to live here. And when we got the lab puppy, she was smaller than our older dog, but now at 6 months old, she is huge. And I mean, I've never had a big dog. I've only ever had small dogs before. And my husband really, really wanted to get a big dog this time. So she was very calm the first day. I mean, like you said, she was a little bit timid, and she just kind of laid on the couch. And when they're babies, they sleep, like they kind of sleep a lot. And then when she started to realize, like, this is my house and this is where I live, she started biting everything and trying to chew everything. And the children hated it. Like, my children hated it, because they couldn't play with her because she bit them so bad. And their little teeth, when they're 8 and 9 weeks old, are like little needles. You know what I mean? And the kids just couldn't, it was like not fun for them. Well, she's not biting like she used to now at 6 weeks old, but she's so big that when she comes out of her crate, she runs as hard as she can through the kitchen, and then her nails, she slides through the hardwood floor and runs into like the kitchen table, or she will run into the island and just crash into it, and she's got all this body weight, and she's just like oh my gosh, she is such a mess, and she is like a monster. She really is. And I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I've never had a dog this big, and I don't know what to do with her. And it's just like this huge monster just like bouncing all around the house. And she, she will go up the stairs and it sounds like there's an elephant like all the way like, it's just, and then when they finally do get in front of their food, she will sniff at both of the bowls instead of just her own. But our older dog, Leia, will bark, and it's very obvious which one is the alpha. Like, it's super clear that our little tiny lab beagle mix is the boss.
Right.
So although Star, the big baby puppy, is big, like she's a big dog, and she's just going to keep getting bigger. Like, I keep asking Andy, like, is she done growing? Is she finished? Like, she's got to be done. And he keeps telling me, nope, she's not done, because he's had big dogs before and I never have. But no, Leia is definitely the boss. Like, she gets her food, and she sometimes gets some of Star's food. Like, it's
that's awesome.
Yes, I know. It's so funny. And then we just recently got a guinea pig, and the listeners know all about Gingerbread. So Gingerbread is our guinea pig, and I'm not in the room with her right now, so she's not going to be making any noise on the podcast today. But sometimes we'll be in the same room during the podcast recording, and she'll make her little noises during the show. And we've had people say, we like the show, screaming kids and guinea pigs and all. So so the guinea pig is like our little mascot. She's funny, but I love looking at pictures of your dogs and seeing them in your stories and everything. I can tell that they're a really important part of your life.
They are, yeah. They're my little babies.
Yeah. So you guys don't have any kids?
No, just the dogs, and they are. I think they've taught me that I'm just not made for children. Like,
totally
the
fair.
patience with the puppy, I'm like, oh, this is as much as I can handle.
No. So what kind of reaction do you get from people when you tell them that you're just not made for kids? Do you get like, what do people say about that?
My immediate circle, like if my family or anything, they just know. I think they would be shocked if I was like, hey guys, I'm having a baby. They'd be like, oh wow, congratulations. That's caught me off guard.
Yeah.
So, but I've gotten, the response, because I don't get out much, I don't really talk to anybody.
Right.
It doesn't, I never really get to talk about it, but I could see how it would be an issue, because it's not the norm. But it's what's norm for me. I can't picture myself with children. And I think that's just
totally
okay.
fair. Yeah, absolutely.
No,
I think that is absolutely fair. That's totally great.
Yeah, there was a long time in my life where I felt like that I probably wouldn't have any too. And then I was very surprised when I made the decision to go ahead and have one. I was super surprised. And I'm not going to be one of those people that says to you, oh no, you'll decide to have one. I'm sure that you've gotten that a lot in your life where, yeah, where you tell people, where you tell people that you don't want to have them, and then people are like, oh no, you just haven't. Are like, maybe before you guys got married, people were probably like, oh no, you just haven't found the right person yet, or you know what I mean? Like, everybody's always got their thing to say, and people just don't know what to do with a woman who doesn't want to have children. Like, that's just people just have no idea what to say about that.
Well, and especially I think like the older generation who like, it wasn't necessarily like something that was presented as an option, I think, to people from like generations ago. It was like, oh, you get married, you have kids, like maybe you have a job, like that's cool, but like that's like on the side over here. But like, I feel like now people are like, well, I'd like to be an individual first. I'd like to know more about myself first before I have kids. So, or not have kids at all.
Yeah, well, I think it's shows a great deal of self-awareness and restraint actually, because there is something about like being married that there's something biological that says you're supposed to do it. So,
Right.
you know,
All the time.
and yes. Okay.
Sorry, you walked right into that one. I'm a middle school teacher. What can I say?
You are a middle school student. You
I-
are. There's something biological that says that you're supposed to have children, Caitlin.
You love it.
Yeah, I do. I do love it. But you know, so I can see how, you know, knowing yourself well enough to say, yes, well, maybe occasionally it crosses my mind, but I know myself well enough to know that, you know, that's not right for me. I wouldn't ever like wish my life was different, but at the same
Mhm.
time, there was a time in my life where I felt like that it wouldn't be the right choice for me.
Yeah,
And you know what I mean? Like
I totally know what you
maybe
mean.
yeah, like I feel like that if I had listened to my, you know, listen to your heart. I don't know. You know,
Okay,
where you know,
Pocahontas.
yes, I know. There are just times when, you know, I feel like that maybe if I had it to, you know what, there's no way to say that the right way. Like if I had it
Yeah.
to do over again, then I would do things differently. But it's a hard life. Let me just put it that way.
Well, and I feel
It
like
just
there's two like conflicting things for like I would I don't want to call us necessarily like more motivated than your average person, but like for people who Leanne and I who wanted to have children potentially, but also really had these like other big dreams, like being a mom, like even if you have a really supportive partner like we both do, like you have to be so sacrificing of yourself. Like
Mhm.
you really do have to like be ready to be like, okay, well, I want to do this, but like you are a living human being and like I'm responsible for making you into a responsible human being in the world. And so that has to come first before all of this other stuff.
yes.
So it can
Thank
be
you.
really it can be really hard. And like I totally get that. Delilah was a surprise to Brian and I when we were in college. We were 21. We were in our last semester of college when we got pregnant. And like so I didn't necessarily have a lot of time to like, you know, be married and like think about whether or not we wanted to have kids. We just kind of had a kid. Like that's just what happened. And so like thinking about not necessarily saying that like I would ever go back and change it because I kind of feel like things happen for a reason and like she was supposed to be in my life and all of this stuff, but like maybe I would have waited a little bit longer or like different circumstances or something, or I would have tried to do more work first. But I love my life how it is and I wouldn't want to change that. But like looking at other perspectives, I can totally see like the desire to maybe not have kids or have them later, or maybe even just have one, like if
Mhm.
that's an option too. So that's my little soapbox.
God, you put that so much better than I did. Like I just stumbled all over this, like trying
Well, I
not to
knew what you
say,
wanted to
well,
say. I could
well,
feel.
no. But see, like I don't want to come out and say, well, if I had my life to do over again, I totally wouldn't have kids. But you know, because
Not true.
that's not what I mean.
But like you're two
But
conflicting people almost is what it feels like when you are a working mom and when you're a mom that works multiple jobs.
yes, because you know, I leave my job at school and I go to my job at home.
Mhm.
And, you know, my job at home is, well, I'm a mom, and my job at home is, well, I'm trying to create all this content. And it's just
Yeah.
like, which one, you know, I do have a supportive partner, but, you know, when my kids come in the room, everything else has to stop.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
you
and
know, if
like
I,
as controversial as it might be, like there are some things that really only a mom can do. Like you carried the child in your body for 9 months and you birthed them and like you have this unexplainable connection with this person that a father is never going to. Like it's different. And so sometimes like even if you have a partner at home, like the kids just want mom for this specific thing.
yes, and I have to say that there are times that I sometimes wish that I didn't have to play that role.
Mhm. Yeah.
And,
Being
you
a dad
know,
is so much easier.
yes, yes, and you just can't ever clock out.
I
So,
know, it's so true.
and you can't prepare like you can't do all the work on a Wednesday so that you don't have to do it on the weekend.
Right. And then the unexplainable things pop up like, oh, I have a video to record. Just kidding. My kid's throwing up like all day long, so that's not going to happen, you know? Like, so
Oh,
sometimes things.
yeah. So I so like admire your your choice in your life, and you're never going to hear from us like, Oh no, you'll change your mind. So sorry, we like totally got off on like a soapbox about.
I know we really did. Dang.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was
And that
like
is a little
super.
controversial. So we really do just share our hearts here. So if anybody is offended, which I hope you're not, but like that's just like us being real, I think.
Right,
So
but it's also controversial for Tasia to say that she doesn't want to have kids. Like, I
yeah, I think
mean,
that's well, I think it's less controversial now than it ever has been. But maybe you can tell us a little bit about like how you feel about that in the world. Like, does it make you nervous to tell people that if you do share it, or do you just not
Oh
share
no, I don't care if you think I should have children or not. Like, not you specifically, but you
Right,
know what
right,
I
right.
mean? Like, in general,
Uh-huh.
if someone asks me and I say no, their response is not going to affect me whatsoever. I know my decision is right for me. I
Good.
think about like being an old lady and how nice it would be to have a family. I always worry about my future and if it's going to be lonely or things like that. But I just right now, it wouldn't be right.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And there's ways that you can have kids in your life without having to be a parent. Like if that's something you want to explore later, like you could volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. Like if you want to hang out with
Right.
some cool kids, you know, like there's
Mm-hmm.
ways to be connected with children without necessarily having to have biological children. And again, I think it's super admirable that you know that about yourself, that that's not what you want.
Yeah, I know. I love it. So let's move on to the holidays because they are upon us. What do
Ooh.
you guys do for, yeah, I know. What do you guys do for Thanksgiving? Do you have a lot of family nearby or is everybody out of town? Do you just work? I feel like that's all that you guys do.
I
Except for
have
that
no
time that you guys went to
family.
Disney, which I love. I love to see your Disney stuff. Like when you guys went
Oh.
to Disney, I was like obsessed with that trip.
That
Um,
was a lot of fun.
hmm Yeah, I know. It's I know that I probably shouldn't like obsessively watch your and Zach's stories, but you know.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you're like, who is this person that I've agreed to talk to on on this podcast?
No.
But no. So yeah, what do you guys do? Do you cook for Thanksgiving or what are you gonna do?
I do not cook. No, I when I lived in Hawaii, it was this really huge family event, and it was a lot of fun. And I was always put in charge of rolls because I totally flubbed up a dessert one year, and I was kind of fired from bringing actual food. So when we moved here, I just don't have anyone near, so we would just cater from Whole Foods or whatever place will cater for us.
Nice.
But this year, I do have a friend driving down from Puyallup. Her husband and her daughter are coming down. So I'm really excited to be able to connect with some people on a holiday and kind of start making our own traditions.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. HelloFresh actually has a Thanksgiving meal box. If you need them,
Really?
they do. And they have
Oh.
two
Wait.
options. They have a turkey, hashtag not sponsored, but they have a turkey option and then like a meat, like a beef situation happening.
You know what?
Oh.
I have several free HelloFresh boxes too that I can give away. So I'll look into like signing you up for a free HelloFresh box and I
There you
will just
go.
totally, yes, and I will just cater your Thanksgiving. So there
Thanksgiving
you go. Like,
with chaos.
yep. Hashtag, yeah. I don't have a hashtag. I just said hashtag.
Yeah, it's
Um, I didn't have anything to follow the hashtag. I just said it. Like,
okay.
you always have something,
Yeah,
Caitlin. Like, you always have a clever hashtag. And I'm just like,
I swear it's from being a middle school teacher. I see these kids and hear them saying like hashtag this in the chat pod, and I'm like, ooh, I want to be cool like the youth kid.
yeah, my kids are always saying things and like, I have no idea what they're saying at this point. And I promised myself that I was going to stay cool, and like always be hip, like to the things that they're saying. And
But you were
today,
hip, so you're definitely not anymore.
okay.
Love you,
So,
smooches.
okay. Okay, well, you're not hip either if you just said
Oh no, I'm
smooches.
definitely not. I'm into kissing Harry Potter. Like that's not even on the table.
Wait, Harry Potter's not hip?
No. Mm-mm. And also, the year 2000 was not 10 years ago anymore. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it really wasn't. And it feels like it was. I
How
know.
about
And
1990 was 10 years ago? I still think that's a thing. I'm like, is Friends going to be on? Like,
oh my God, it's Thursday night. It's time for Friends.
oh.
Oh my gosh. So today, speaking of hip, I'll tell you guys. Oh, you know what? Tasia's not a teacher, but I have a Tales from Teaching. Can we do a Tales from Teaching just really, really quick?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, and this is kind of rated PG-13.
Oh, snap.
Ooh.
Okay. So, children, if you're in the room, then go away.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Unless you're
Parents,
trapped
turn
in a
down.
vehicle.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, parents, turn off the podcast because I'm going to talk about something that's a little bit PG-13. So today, this is the first time that this has happened to me ever in my career. Today, I had a girl come to me in my room and say, I need to talk to you outside.
Oh, snap.
And yes, and when I say room, I mean trailer. Like she
I
came
was
to
going to
me.
say, opening the door to the trailer.
No, like she was already in the trailer. Like she was in my mobile unit. She was in my
Oh, gee.
modular. And she just came up to my desk and she said, Miss Spicer, I need to talk to you outside. And when I say outside, I mean like legitimately outside in the outside. And I was like, well, it's kind of cold out there. Are you sure that you want to go? And she was like, yes, we have to go outside.
Oh.
So then she says to me, I went in the bathroom and hit a dab pen.
What?
I know. That's the same. That silence that you guys just, I'm going to leave that silence in. I'm not going to edit that awkward silence out because that's the same silence that I made.
You're like, excuse
And then,
me? Like,
so, and I just looked at her and I was like, you hit who? And she said, I hit a dab pen in the bathroom. And I was like, okay, you're going to have to say that one more time. And I was trying not to look uncool, but I was so completely not cool at that moment.
oh my God, that's so
And I finally said, okay, what? And she said, I hit a dab pen in the bathroom. And I said, stop. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to try to pretend like I know what that is. So apparently a dab pen is one of those vape pens that has like marijuana in it.
Ooh.
And I know, I told you it was PG-13, okay? And
I mean, we're in Portland. We're unaffected right now.
Right.
Okay. But y'all didn't know what that was, did you?
I did actually know what that was. I worked in an alternative school.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
did
know what
too.
it was, Tasia?
But the funny story is I did not know what dabbing was. I thought it was a dance move. And we had a friend who was talking about somebody in their life who was always dabbing. I was like, wow, that boy really likes to dance. And
Oh,
I brought it up to Zach and he's like, that's not what she was talking about at all.
Oh, see? So you weren't hip either at that moment. Oh.
No.
Oh, okay. See, I don't feel so bad. So it's got more than one definition.
It does. Yeah, multiple.
Oh my gosh. See, and it's not even a word, dab.
It's a half of a word, I think.
Well, what's the rest of the word?
Oh, I don't know. I just said that to fill the space.
Okay, so anyway.
I was trying to be funny and clever. I wasn't expecting a follow-up question.
Oh, okay. So after she said the words dab pen to me 3 times, I think something registered in my brain that she was talking about drugs.
I mean, she had to be like.
Yeah. And then she started crying.
Oh my God.
I know. And then she started holding my hands and squeezing them.
What? Why did you
Oh no.
And I was like, I wanted to like jerk them away and say, don't touch me. Like, don't be high and touch me. Like, you can't.
Like, I'm about to get fired right now. Don't touch me.
Like, there is so much about this that is more information than I ever want to know. So finally, she just said, "Don't be high and touch me. Like, just stop it." But
let's merch too.
don't.
I want a t-shirt that says that.
Don't be high and touch me. So finally, she I think she saw the look of horror on my face because I don't have, and when you meet me in person, and you guys will both meet me in person at the Go Wild time, you will know that I don't hide anything on my face. My face cannot hide any emotions.
No.
It's always on my face. Like
Same.
my face gives away everything. I have no poker face, none.
Same.
So I know that that she could look at my face and tell that I was just like completely not there for her. Like, nope, you've told the wrong person this, lady. Like, I'm not here for you right now.
I am not your trusted adult right now.
Nope, I'm not. Like, you know what? If you're breaking up with your boyfriend and you want to cry, then come and talk to me. But don't tell me that you're high because it's Friday and I'm trying to go home. And
I'm a mandatory reporter. I do not have time for this.
Yep, and I'm not going to be here till 9:00 tonight because they're putting you on like some kind of drug prevention thing. No, we're just not doing this. So she let go of my hands and she said, I'm going to call my mom.
No, that's probably a good idea.
So she pulls out her phone from her teeny tiny little Lululemon pants.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and she calls her mom, and then she starts trying to tell her mom that she hid a dab pen in the bathroom.
Oh,
but
no.
She doesn't want to tell her mom I hid a dab pen in the bathroom, so she starts trying to hand me the phone.
No.
And I'm looking at her like, I'm not going to tell your mom that you hid a dab pen in the bathroom. Nope. I'm not doing this. So I looked at her like, no. If you're trying to go home, then you're going to have to tell her. So finally she just said, Mom, I'm really high and I need you to come pick me up.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Probably busted so hard right now, right before Thanksgiving break. But I appreciate her honesty. Like, totally appreciate it.
Oh my god, and I'm standing there looking at her, and first of all, I love this girl. Like, she's a great student. I've never seen her act this way before. It was obviously an error in judgment.
Turned down the wrong road. Whoops.
Yeah. She was obviously in the bathroom with the wrong people. Yeah. So, and it's a Friday, you know, she was trying to cut loose.
Yeah.
I don't know,
pressure.
whatever.
Yeah.
Peer pressure. You know, I mean, they all do stupid things. Their brains are not developed. It's just,
my God, they're like big toddlers. They're like lumbering toddlers. Is what
they really are. And they have all these hormones, and it's so dangerous. So anyway, her mom said, okay, I'll come and pick you up. And about 10 minutes later, I got a call in my trailer that she was being picked up, that she was dismissed. So her mom came and signed her out and took her home. And her mom, like, I don't think her mom told the school. I don't think that she told her mom that I knew that she was high or anything. Like, I was not, like, involved in any way beyond what I just told you. But I was just like, this is the weirdest conversation that I've
weird.
It was just so weird. And, you know, all I could think was, I'm so not cool that you had to repeat the words dab pen to me like 3 times because I did not know what you were talking about.
That happened to me with YOLO. Somebody said that to me and I literally had to go home and Google it. I was like, oh, this is when it starts. It's happening.
Oh, no.
YOLO is the word.
You Googled YOLO?
I Googled YOLO because the kids were saying it in class. I worked in an alternative ed school. I was like, if that's a drug or like a gang symbol, I need to know about it. So I went.
Oh, no. Caitlin.
Yeah. I mean, I told you being hip was like not even on the table at this point.
All right. So that was Tales from Teaching, and it was really weird.
Pretty
good,
though.
We have definitely proven that we are not hip because Tasia didn't know that dab pen and the dab dance were. She did not know how to differentiate between the dab pen and the dab dance. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that dab pen was even a thing at all. And Caitlin didn't know what YOLO was and had to
really
Google
didn't. YOLO.
So, you know, we are definitely not teenagers anymore.
No, but we're cuter than teenagers.
We are. We're better than teenagers because
yes, girl.
The 30s are awesome.
That's what women in their mid-30s say.
Right. So I have heard that you have your Currently page ready. So that's what we're going to do now is go through your Currently page. So we're going to just jump right in and see, what are you reading right now?
I just finished reading a book called The Child Finder, which I'm really thankful I read because I would have had absolutely nothing to say right now if it wasn't for that book.
That's okay.
Oh, my
Sometimes
friend.
people aren't reading anything. That's fine.
I think
Right.
Gabe was reading the Instagram comments, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
or just
Oh,
I think that.
Yeah, so The Child Finder, and it was okay. It wasn't my cup of tea. I love murder and mystery and suspense, but this one involved children, and I did not know that I would not like that, but I don't.
Oh, okay. So
So,
maybe, yeah, that doesn't sound. I feel like that would bother me.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah,
Okay,
even when
but
I listen to like those true crime things, if it has anything to do with kids, I'm like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, at least you read a book.
Right? I'm
Truth.
really proud of myself.
Are you,
Oh,
well,
man.
how about watching? Are you watching anything cool?
I think it's cool. I've been watching Castle Rock on Hulu,
Ooh.
which I
Oh my
really
God.
like.
My husband
Last,
watches that and loves it.
right, yeah, last season was like, I mean, they're both weird, but this season I like more than last season.
Castle Rock is based on Stephen King's world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that's a really good show. So, what are you planning right now?
I'm trying to map out 2020, which is,
Ooh.
yeah, it's a feat because like I said, I'm trying to shift my work balance, my work and life balance. I'm trying to incorporate more me time in there, like more mental health and physical health and just having balance, basically. So I feel like I really need to invest in making sure I have a plan for that so it just doesn't fall back into the usual.
Okay. Well, well, I think that this is the time of year when that's what we're doing. Is that what you're doing, Caitlin, too? Are you kind of planning out 2020 right now or the beginning of it?
Yes, and I cannot wait to set up my new planner. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. That's my favorite
Yeah,
part. That's my favorite
I
thing.
know that's my favorite part too. What planners are you in right now? Speaking of planning, not you,
Ooh.
Caitlin. I know
Oh,
what
you don't want to
planners
know
you're
about
in.
mine again? You don't want to hear about
I
Planner Babe again?
No, I don't. I really don't want to talk about Planner Babe
You don't
anymore.
want me to
Like,
say mini vertical to you again?
no, oh, do not talk about your mini vertical planner anymore. I want to know what planner Tasia's in.
Okay, okay.
I have been loving the Print Pressions planner a lot.
Yes, and you started
But
making kits for that.
yes, it's just like a really fun size. And so I really have been enjoying that. But I want to find some sort of cover. Maybe one of your listeners can help me that can accommodate that planner, but have rings hybrid, kind of like how Aura Estelle does her hybrid setups. Because I want ring stuff in there, but I also don't want to let go of my Print Pressions planner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, that's my struggle right now is having, because I have a rings that I use, I have my Print Pressions that I use that's like in a TN setup, and then I have my work planner, which right now I've been using my Kit Life planner for that, but I kind of want to smush them all together.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
See that
I kind of feel the same.
you're in a world that I like. You're like so deep in planner world. I Caitlin and I barely skim the surface. Like
Right?
Caitlin won't even leave Happy Planner. She's
I
like,
freaking love Happy Planner.
Caitlin's like, if it
If you
doesn't have
love
a
it, you
disc,
gotta just,
I know.
right.
Caitlin's like,
I
if it doesn't have a disc, I'm not.
I
I
know it's
can't.
because I just like to try the new things and take things in and out, but I like it all to be the same size and cohesive, and I love things that match. It makes me so happy.
And see, I have just moved away from Happy Planner and, well, not away entirely. I'm in a very, very hybrid situation with Happy Planner and Erin Condren. We're in like a threesome over here.
Oh
Like
snap!
yeah,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
I know. I have my Happy Planner for some things and my Erin Condren stuff for some things, and then there's me in the middle that's just like going
Oh,
back and forth between the
in the
two. So
middle.
yes,
You did not
yeah.
say in the middle.
Well, I love them both. I just can't decide. You know,
We
when you're
call
in
that
love with
poly planners.
when you love the two, I love them both. And then and then you know what else? I just realized when you said that I have a Print Pressions too.
Oh.
I love that little thing, and I have the cutest little like jelly cover for it that I put like she's still dressed for Halloween right now. I think she needs to take off her
Mine
Halloween costume.
too.
I think it may be time.
Gosh.
I think it may be time to put on like her Thanksgiving stuff. But yeah, I do love my little print impressions. And you know what? Now you've inspired me because I'm going to buy some of your print impressions kits because I know that you started making the Hobonichi Weeks size stuff.
I did, yeah.
But I never actually bought a Hobonichi Weeks, even though a lot of people got really into that. I'm going to start buying your print impressions because I love that little planner. So, all right, now we're all going to talk about what we're eating. So, Tasia, what are you eating? What are you eating lately?
Right now, I have been eating way too much popcorn. I got this popcorn bowl thing from Sur La Table, and so you just pour in your popcorn kernels and put the lid on, and so you don't put any oil or anything. It's just like air popped, but in the microwave. But I've been putting all these different seasonings on them, and I've just been loving it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Delicious.
Yeah.
First of all, I love popcorn. Like that's one of my favorite foods. And my husband doesn't really like it very much because it gets stuck in your teeth.
Oh my gosh. How about when one of the kernels or the outside of the kernels gets like spot welded to the top of your mouth?
Oh god.
Yeah. Or when it goes like up inside your gum.
Oh my gosh. Or right in between your teeth and not even the floss is getting it out. That is why I love popcorn. You guys are on your own with the popcorn.
Or when you realize that it's been in your gum for like 2 days, even though you've brushed and you can't get it out. I know. But no, I still love it. I love it. And I love all the different kinds of flavors. I need to get that bowl. I've seen that thing.
It's so handy because it just, I mean, you don't need to, you just get a big thing of kernels and you're done.
But that's not unhealthy though. Like you're saying that you're eating too much of it, but that's not bad for you if you're not putting any oil or anything in it.
Yeah, well, so I pop it. Then to get the seasonings to stick to it, I do put some butter on there and then the seasoning. So it's definitely not the best it could be.
Okay, so now we're getting the truth. You're not just eating. Okay, so you're not just. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay,
right. Okay. It's all dressed up and really delicious.
Okay, that sounds so good to me right now. So, yeah, I would definitely go for that. Yeah. What are you eating, Caitlin?
I'm eating HelloFresh.
Oh, not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored. I wish they would sponsor us, though.
Please sponsor us. Like, even just send me free food. Like, you don't even have to pay me. Like, I'm easy to please.
Yes, I love HelloFresh. I've been eating that too, but that's not my eating, though. That's not. So don't listen, guys. That's not my eating. I'm not stealing Caitlin's eating.
That's okay.
Okay,
Steal away. Steal away.
No. Tell us about your HelloFresh.
It's so easy. Like oh my gosh, it took, because every night I'm like, what the frack am I going to make for dinner that everybody's going to want to eat? And like, oh, it's such a struggle. But when they like tell you what you're going to eat, basically, you're like, I'm like, okay, I can follow your directions and it's fine. And everybody's going to eat it. And it's great. So I really like it for that reason.
And it's super cool because like, you just get that little card and you just do what it tells you to do.
Exactly.
And oh my God, I love it so much. It is just, and what I do is when the big box comes, I take the meat that's in the bottom of the box and I go ahead and put it in the bag that it comes with. Like, so the food comes, like the recipes come in these bags. And then in the bottom of the box, under the little freezer section in the box, is where the meat is kept cold. So I just take the meat out of the little freezer section and go ahead and put it into the recipe bag and then just put those in the fridge so that I can just pull the bag out of the refrigerator and all of the things are in the bag. And it's just so nice because then I don't have to look for anything. It's all just right there. And it's just amazing. I love it. And when I come home on a Monday and the package is on the doorstep and I just know that there's dinner for like the next 5 days, we sound like an advertisement. It
really is not. It's just that good.
It's really not.
My only complaint is that I wish that they used more sustainable and organic stuff in there.
Well, and I know that there are some of those food delivery services that do have some
Mm.
of that stuff. But this was just the first one that I went with because
Same. Yeah, I got
I'm
a coupon in my FabFitFun box, so that's
and
why.
I'm gonna try Blue Apron and Sunbasket. I'm gonna try a bunch of different ones and see if I like any of them different, like see if I like them better or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like it so far, and everything that we've eaten has been really good.
Yeah, I agree. It was really good.
Yeah, everything has tasted good. So, well, here's how I'm eating right now. I have decided to start intermittent fasting.
Ooh.
Yes, and Heather Kell has been doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and she and I have been talking about it, and she was telling me like how good she's been feeling and how long she's been doing it and all this kind of stuff. So I've been doing it for maybe 3 or 4 days. So to say that that's on my currently page for November is not necessarily accurate. Because
Yeah.
probably what's on my eating for November is like, pie or something.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
Yes.
if you really want to know what I'm eating the leftover Halloween candy and HelloFresh and just Chick-fil-A and everything else. But the past few days I have been doing this, and I'm doing like a ratio of fasting for 20 hours and then eating for 4.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Yes, but I'm not like eating solid for 4 hours. Not like I'm sitting down for 4 hours and just like eating for a straight 4 hours. But there is a 4-hour window of the day when I'm allowed to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And it works for me because I don't necessarily need to eat in front of my students at school.
Yeah.
And I work so much at home anyway that I sometimes forget to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when I come home from work, I can just make my HelloFresh food and then just have that for dinner and eat that during my time. And then if we have a party to go to, as long as it's during my hours of eating time, then I can go to the party and I don't have to worry about like, oh, I have to count these points or oh, I have to do, you know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I'm already feeling like less bloated and like I'm not retaining as much water, and it's kind of cool. So I am doing this because I really need to start getting ready for all of these conferences that I'm going to in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm doing like every conference that I can possibly think of. I mean, I'm going to Planner Delight. I'm going to the Chicago Planners Conference. I'm going to Go Wild. Like I'm going to be flying a lot. And I don't know if I fit in an airplane seat
Oh,
anymore.
stop it.
No.
These girls at this conference at Go Wild are going to take me exactly as I am. I might try to work out a little bit, just to make myself a little bit better, but I'm not doing anything for anybody.
Well, I just don't know. It's not about that. Look, everybody can take me as I am. It's not about the other people. It's about, will I be comfortable in the airplane?
Sure. Okay.
Like, I just don't know. I haven't been in an airplane in like 2 years. So I just don't know. I don't want to be that person on the airplane that like somebody sits down and realizes, oh, I have to sit next to her for the next 4 hours on this flight. Yeah. So I would like to take off a few inches in the hip area before I have to sit in an airplane for that long.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm hoping that I just like immediately get used to it and it just becomes super easy and that'll be it. So yeah, that's how I'm eating. All right, Tasia, what are you dreaming? What are your goals?
I am dreaming of international travel next year. I really want to go somewhere.
Ooh.
I want to go somewhere. Like, so I'm not limited. I've been thinking about Ireland. I would really love to see all of the castles and all of that kind of fun stuff. And I was thinking Japan, but then the Olympics are in Japan next year. So I'm going somewhere. I just
Oh,
don't know
Nice.
where.
So
yes.
fun.
That's a
Yeah.
wonderful goal. And then how are you feeling this month?
I have been a little ball of like I'm an emotional roller coaster this month, I would say. I go through I've been feeling all of the emotions this month. It's been I don't know what it's been. I don't know why, but I've been really anxious. And then it'll just release, and I'll be like, "This is amazing!" And then all of a sudden, it just hits me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, "This sucks!" Like,
Oh, jeez.
Oh, your husband is so lucky. He's such a lucky guy.
Right? Like, when
So
am I going to
lucky.
get today?
Right.
Oh, who is she today?
Right.
Which Tasia are you? And what are you
Oh,
loving?
man.
What are you loving right now?
I was shocked by my answer personally, because I absolutely hate to work out, but I've been loving going to Pilates class. It's not on the mat, it's on a
Oh,
reformer, but it's just
yeah.
so, I feel so energized and like happy when I leave. That days that I have Pilates, I just know that I'm going to be feeling a lot better. So I've been
Oh,
So,
really
awesome.
enjoying it.
wow. So you leave the house and go to Pilates?
Right, it's right down the street, so I don't travel far.
Wow.
But yeah, I go there for an hour and then I come home. But
That is
it's
so
really nice.
impressive. That is really, really impressive. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I wish I could leave the house and go to anything that is active. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
I know. I would love to do that too. That's actually like one of
Hmm.
my goals for 2020 is to like be more active and like take a class or something.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. And I always say, "Oh my gosh, I don't have any time." But I totally could if I would just like
Hmm.
make it a priority. I
And
know
if
that
you
I
pay
could.
for it and you have it scheduled, I think it like makes you want to go more.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you
And
get
Mhm.
a fine if you don't show up.
Oh,
So
God.
yes,
I'm okay
exactly.
with
Okay.
that.
And see, I have a
Yeah.
treadmill in my house. Like I have no excuse to not just put my butt on that treadmill for 30 minutes a day. Like it's ridiculous why I don't do it. So what are you listening to?
I've been listening to a lot of instrumental lately.
Ooh.
I
Oh,
feel like when I'm drawing, or if I feel a lot of stress in my life, if I listen to something that is like, I don't know, all over the place with the music, if it's just too high of a beat or something like that, it just makes my mood even more scaled up. So
Mhm.
the peaceful piano, the instrumental study, there's this focus channel on Spotify that has all these, like, I'm gonna be like study, what are they called, playlists.
Mhm.
So I've been
mm.
really enjoying those. So I toggle between that and Christmas music.
Oh,
Oh, the
nice.
Christmas
Yes,
music. Yeah.
Christmas
Right.
music. Yeah, it is time for that. So, Caitlin, what are
Yeah.
you listening to?
I am listening to Plan a Happy Life, the Stephanie Fleming podcast.
Me too. I listened to that too. It was so
Oh,
cute.
it was adorable. And I love the banter between her and Kayla. Oh,
I
it's just the
know. I
cutest.
know. I love them together. It was awesome. We have so enjoyed having you on the show. It has been so awesome. We didn't get to
I
talk about
know.
Go
Thank
Wild,
you for being here.
No,
but
thank you.
Caitlin and I will both be at Go Wild.
Yes, we will.
How
And
exciting.
and you're going to be there too, right?
I am, yes. I
Okay.
mean, it's
So
next to Disneyland, so I have to go.
we will both see you at Go Wild. So I'm super excited to actually get to meet you in person and give you a
Yay!
hug.
Yes,
I'm
it's so
really
Yay!
exciting.
excited.
I know.
And since we're both in Portland, we should get together and have planning coffee or something.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, our first meetup shouldn't be in
I know.
California.
Yeah, let's come hang out.
Oh my gosh, yes, I'm super jealous. You guys need to like get that together like soon
Yes,
and then you
I'll
can
be
both
DMing you after this.
yes, and then you
Yeah.
can both dread it all day long until you actually get there
Yes,
and then it'll be fine and you guys will both be fine.
totally.
Right, perfect.
So anyway, this has been such a blast. It's been a great episode and I have enjoyed having you on the show so much. I've looked forward to it all week and it's been everything that I hoped that it would be.
Leanne, why don't you tell all these folks where they can find her, all of her socials and all the things?
Okay, well, of course, she is on Instagram at Sweet Kawaii Design, and I'm going to spell that for everybody. It's SweetKawaii Design. Sweet Kawaii Design.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can find her shop at www.sweetkawaiidesign.com. And there's also an Etsy shop. So if you don't want to leave the comforts of Etsy, then you can find her on Etsy too. But you're not going to be able to get all of the deals and goodies and freebies and stuff that you would get if you just went directly to sweetkawaiidesign.com. And then you can also find her on her YouTube channel, which is also Sweet Kawaii Design. So I don't think that I missed any, but that is where you can find Tasia. And Caitlin, where can these guys find you?
Ooh, all right. Well, they can find me primarily hanging out on YouTube at Creating in Chaos. I also like to hang out on Instagram at Creating in Chaos _official. And sometimes I pop over to Facebook and Twitter, same handle, but those aren't as active. Where can they all find you?
Okay, well, most of the time lately, I am actually on YouTube. So you can find me on YouTube at SpicedPlans. And the rest of the time, I am on Instagram at SpicedPlans. And then all of the rest of the time, I am here on this podcast. And we are both at Spiced Chaos Podcast. Anytime you want to DM us there, you can find us there.
Yes.
And
thank you so
yes, so I hope that everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yeah, same to you.
Yes.
You
And I hope that
too.
all the listeners have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yay.
And do not forget, everyone, to please respond to our most recent question for the minisode, which is, what are your fun Thanksgiving stories?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a funny Thanksgiving story, then go ahead and send that in as a DM or as an email to the Spiced Chaos Podcast Instagram. You can send it as a DM, or you can email us at spicedchaospodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear your funny Thanksgiving stories, and we will read them on the next minisode.
Yep.
All
and
right.
make sure you're following all of our socials too, because that's where we announce all of that stuff throughout the week.
Yes. So that is our next minisode. And I guess that is it. We will talk to you guys in the next one.
Bye. Bye, friends.
Bye.